And welcome to TIA Now's Connected Vehicle Series. We're here with Neil Peterson. He's Executive Director of the Transportation Research Board. And Neil, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Abe, and welcome to the Transportation Research Board annual meeting.
Well, I appreciate being here. I want to ask you about TRB and how it really educates and really supports the CVAV space. That's Connected Vehicle, Autonomous Vehicle space.
Sure. Our annual meeting brings together about 13,000 transportation professionals each year, and we're really trying to look at both the current and future issues. And obviously, connected and automated vehicles is one of the big issues that is a focus for us right now.
Now, I know the TRB Executive Committee determines sort of the focal points of this annual meeting. What are some of those for this year?
So the whole area of transformational technologies, with connected and automated vehicles being obviously a key transformational technology, is one that our Executive Committee has identified. They're also looking at resilience of the transportation system as a result of major storm events or security events. And we're also looking at the relationship between public health and transportation.
Now, certainly a lot of R&D behind those efforts. Do you think enough R&D is being done and supported for the CVAV space right now?
So one of the things that TRB does is it tries to bring together the researchers with the practitioners. And we have quite a few researchers who are actually looking at various issues, both from a technology standpoint and from a policy standpoint in the area of connected and automated vehicles. It is such a transformational technology, though, and we expect so many changes that it is going to require a lot of research. So even though a lot is happening, we certainly think more needs to happen as well.
Neil, I wanted to ask you about from the outside in anyway, maybe those of you that are not in the connected vehicle space, or for those of us that are not in the CV space, there's a little bit of confusion about the difference between CV and AV as far as definition. Can you give us a definition of both of those?
So the difference between connected vehicles and automated vehicles is when we're talking about connected vehicles, we're talking about communications between cars and trucks and other cars and trucks and between cars and trucks and the infrastructure itself. So for example, if a vehicle in front is starting to brake, immediately the vehicle behind it knows about that. Or if a vehicle is coming up upon a traffic signal, it knows when the traffic signal is about to change color faces. So in terms of autonomous vehicles or automated vehicles, and there is a difference between the two, automated vehicles are increasingly incorporating aspects of technology so that the vehicle can take over certain safety functions and avoid crashes, basically. Autonomous vehicles start to get closer to self-driving vehicles, where the vehicle itself is making the decisions on what the driver would normally make while the driving function is taking place. So connected vehicles really are connecting communications to other vehicles and the infrastructure. Autonomous vehicles are making the driving decisions themselves.
So a lot of discussion around DSRC technologies and LTE technologies in the CV space, in the AV space as well. Can you tell us how that plays a role and define what DSRC is for us?
So DSRC is dedicated short-range communications, and it is a spectrum of the bandwidth that has been set aside for connected vehicles, basically, to be able to connect with each other and with the infrastructure itself. It was actually a decision that was made to set aside for, at that time, intelligent transportation systems, and connected vehicles are obviously part of the intelligent transportation systems. And the U.S. Department of Transportation now has actually mandated that vehicles that are going to start coming out have to have the technology for the dedicated short-range communications.
So what's the debate between DSRC and, let's say, LTE?
So first of all, DSRC has actually been set aside and allocated at this point. There's been a lot of work that has been done. The technology is starting to advance. We have quite a bit of confidence in terms of its ability to be able to serve the communications functions. LTE is still in its infancy. In fact, it is not yet to the point that it actually is technologically available on a large scale. And we still don't know exactly how long it's going to take and what its capability is going to be. So we still have a lot to learn.
So for those in the industry that disagree with the the absolute use of DSRC as a technology. What vantage point are they coming from? What's their argument?
Well, I think there is potential in terms of LTE to have tremendous capability, but it is a potential, and until it is proven, there's concern about making sure that we actually have a proven technology that is operational in the field before we say that's the direction that we will be headed.
I want to touch on the security and even privacy in the connected vehicle. Is it the responsibility of the OEM to sort of embed that security and privacy mechanisms or mechanism in the vehicle, or are suppliers along the way responsible for that? Who's responsible?
I think it's probably everyone's responsibility in terms of addressing security. Ultimately, we want to be making sure that the vehicles are as safe as possible, that they are not able to be hacked. And there are multiple entry points in which the bad guys really want to be getting into the system. So it's, I would say, all of the above in terms of responsibility.
Neil, I want to talk to you again about privacy and really maybe vehicle location pertaining to third parties' knowledge of where a vehicle is. What are the policies around that?
Well, obviously, for particularly connected vehicles to be able to work, but actually also for autonomous vehicles to be able to work, it is dependent upon very accurate location information. And we want to be making sure from a security standpoint, from a cybersecurity standpoint, that that information is not something that is hackable. And that's an issue that really needs to be addressed from a cybersecurity standpoint.
Neil, before we finish, I want to circle back with the DSRC LTE debate. Where do you see that debate coming to fruition, let's say over the next 2-3 years? If I were to interview you in 2 years, where would we be on that debate?
So in terms of the evolution over the next couple of years of DSRC and LTE, I think we have to wait to see how fast the technology advances and actually have some experience with actual deployments in the field to understand what the issues are. I mean, I am expecting that there are going to be advances. The technology is changing so fast and advancing so fast that 2 years from now, we hopefully will have a lot more information to be informing us. But until that happens, we want to be making sure that we're not making decisions that are based on inadequate information.
Neil, thanks for your time.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and again, welcome to the TRB annual meeting.